the face. We must not allow it to stand.
And that's the hottest 60 seconds you missed on Wake Up with Word on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Black history is American history. Our sacrifices and achievements make this country stronger. So we celebrate Kamala Harris, the first Black woman vice president in history, General Lloyd Austin, the first Black Secretary of Defense, and Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first Black woman on the Supreme Court. History makers who reflect President Biden's commitment to Black America, delivering real results for us. The lowest Black unemployment rate in history, Black child poverty cut in half, record numbers of new Black entrepreneurs, and over $130 billion in student debt forgiven. But there's more to do, including protecting the right to vote and advancing opportunities for all of us to keep making history.
I'm Joe Biden, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Biden for President.
In honor of Black History Month, WURD, in collaboration with First World Theater, presents Diamonds of the Diaspora, Black political figures and influencers in their own words. Isabella Bumfrey was an enslaved woman who escaped captivity and changed her name to Sojourner Truth. The author, preacher, and activist toured the country giving speeches on the evils of slavery. After the Civil War, she joined the Freedmen's Bureau, helping those emancipated from slavery find jobs and begin new lives. On May 29, 1851, at the Women's Rights Convention in Akron, Ohio, Sojourner Truth made her most famous speech.
Well, children, where there's so much racket, seems like something's out of Kempton. I think's between the Negroes of the South and the women up north, all talking about rights. White man gonna be in a fix pretty soon. Look at me. Look at my arms. I have plowed and planted and gathered into barn, and no man can head me. And ain't I a woman? I have borne 13 children and seen them all almost sold off into slavery. And when I cried, a mother's cry, none heard me but Jesus. And ain't I a woman? Then that there little man in black says that women ain't got no rights, 'cause Christ wasn't a woman. Where did your Christ come from? Where did your Christ come from? From God and a woman. Man ain't have nothing to do with it. So if the first woman that God made can turn this world upside down, then all these women in here can turn it right side up. And they asking to do it. And the men better let them.
That's a speech by Sojourner Truth, performed by Zahara from First World Theater. This Black History Month, we recognize the work and influence of Sojourner Truth. This Black History Month vignette was brought to you by the Philadelphia Gas Works. Visit Philadelphia, Arthur Ross Gallery, PHMC, and Commonwealth Charter Academy. Celebrating Black excellence worldwide and bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on Word Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people. Write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L O G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Here we are, Tuesday, February 27th. Do you believe it? I don't believe it. I don't believe it, but I'm grateful nonetheless. How about that? Grateful, grateful, grateful. And I'm grateful just to spend some time with you. You know I am. You know I am. All right, so family, continuing our Black History Month recognition. Today's Black History Moment is about a few people, a few individuals. It's about William Tucker, George Speck, Garrett Morgan, and Kenneth E. Lawrence. That's right. So the first that I have to share with you is William Tucker. William Tucker was the first known Black person to be born in the 13 colonies. He was born near Jamestown, Virginia in 1624. His parents were indentured servants and were part of the first group of Africans brought to colonial soil by Great Britain. In 1634, his parents participated in the establishment of Elizabeth City County, Virginia, which is now the city of Hampton. I love Hampton, Virginia. Isn't that something? The second of which that I want to share with you is George Crumb Speck. George Speck, a chef and restaurant owner, is said to have created the potato chip. How about that? By accident, nonetheless, during the summer of 1853. However, his sister Kate claims she actually created the chip after a potato slice fell into a hot frying pan, creating the famous Saratoga chips. Crumb's chips remained a local delicacy in New York until the 1920s when a salesman named Herman Lay, the very same of Lay's chips, began traveling throughout the South and introducing potato chips to different communities. How about that, right? That's our history. I want to share with you about Garrett Morgan. Do you know? Garrett Morgan's inventions continue to save lives. Yes, they do. His take on the traffic signal, which he patented in 1922, was the first to offer a third caution signal, which is now known as the yellow light. His traffic signal, which he patented once again in 1922. In 1912, he received a patent for his breathing device, which was one of the earliest versions of a gas mask. He was also the first African-American man to own a car in Cleveland, Ohio. I love us, y'all. I just love us. And the last of which I want to share with you today is about Kenneth E. Lawrence. So the board for the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority, also known as SEPTA, announced on last Thursday that Kenneth E. Lawrence has been unanimously elected to serve as the chair. Lawrence is the first African American to advance to this position. What? We are still making history, and I love it. I love it. Family, that's today's Black History Moment. You know what? I'm loving these Black History moments. They make me feel so good to read such positivity about us and to celebrate us that, I don't know, family, I think it might have to continue past February. What do you think? What do you think? I think it's a good idea. I mean, why not? We should be celebrated every day. I say we do it right here. I want to share something else with you. As you know, February is a month of love. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You see all my hearts in the background and everything. Well, Word has an exclusive new collection for this month only. Our I Love Word collection features a t-shirt, stemless wine glass, hoodie, water bottle, coffee mug, and even a tote bag. And guess what? If you are a member, then you get these brand new items for 50% off in our Word shop. So join or renew right now so you can get your discount code via email. Simply go to wordradio.com /I love Word to start shopping and show your love for your favorite radio station. Family, that's wordradio.com /ILUVWURD. That's right. You better hurry up though. Today is Tuesday, February 27th. It's only for this month. I want to share something else with you. Level Up is back, family. In celebration of Women's History Month, Level Up returns, highlighting Black women owned businesses that are making a difference in our communities. In partnership with WVON Chicago and KJLH Los Angeles, this signature initiative gives you the opportunity to nominate your business or one of your favorite Black woman owned businesses, a chance to become one of 5 finalists who will be featured in a Shark Tank style pitch party where the winner will be selected by a panel of independent corporate sector judges. Oh, I love that. They will also receive a grand prize valued at $5,000. I like that even more. Get ready because the submission process begins soon. It opens soon, family. Stay tuned, word, for more exciting details. Level Up 2024 is sponsored by Comcast, Pennsylvania Lottery, Keystone First, and Bank of America. Family, I see you talking over here. I see you. And I love it. I see you checking in. You know what I like to do as we get started? I like to check in. I like for you to say hello if you're joining us by way of socials. And guess what? If you are not, you can give us a call if you choose to do so. And you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free. You can do that dialing 1-866-361-0900. Yes. Don't think I forgot about you if you're celebrating a birthday, love bug. I did not. Happy birthday to all of our love bugs that are celebrating. Y'all heard me say it. I think we should be celebrated, each and every day. So happy birthday. Happy. And family, for those of you who are joining us with a heavy heart, yes, if your light is shining even just a little bit dimly, I'm talking to you. I'm sending you extra love and hugs on behalf of your entire tribe and village that is right here. You hear me? Just so that you know that you are not alone, because you don't ever have to do this by yourself. We are right here. Okay? All right. So family, let's get started. Once again, I see you checking in. Malcolm is sharing that he is watching and listening from West Mount Airy. You know, I look for that every day, and I tell you that every day because I do. Hey there, Brother Malcolm. Happy to have you join us, as is Brother Nasir, who sends peace and blessings to everybody. You know, we receive that. We send them right back to you. Heather. Hey, boo. Hello. She shares. And there's my cousin, Misty. Hey there. Oh, you loving the eyewear? Thank you. Some of my new specs. Thank you, cuz. She's sending love to everybody. Hi there, beloved. Shirley Carter is sending love to the entire Word family, and we love it. We're sending it right back to you. Hey there, Eric. Eric is joining us too. Just Rick. He said, hey, family. How's your terrific Tuesday? Well, it is coming along. I won't complain. You know I won't. And Miss Lily, our beloved. Hi there, beautiful. She shares a good evening with everybody. I am loving this. Miss Shirley said, Black History year round. Okay, the votes are coming in and I love it. I only needed one vote though. Only one. I only wanted one person to agree with me. It's happening all year round. Nicole P is joining us. Hi, beautiful. She shares good evening, love and life and words. So happy to be here and checking in from Burbank. And you know we love that you are. We love that. Walt Reader Jr. is checking in. Oh, thank you. Thank y'all for the compliments. It must be the white tonight. I don't know. Is relaxing from a crazy underweather day. Well, we're sending you, good vibes. Well, we're sending you good vibes. And James Reese, look at that. My boo. That's my son. That's my son right there. Hey there, joining us, Gerald Beasley, joining us as well. So happy to have you here. All right, family, let's get started. So we have one of our love bugs returning. She's visited with us in the past. She's shared some wonderful information with us in the past, and she's come back to do the same once again. Yes, she has. She's no stranger to Word or to the show. And I know once you see her, you're going to say, oh, I know exactly who this is. Family, without further ado, I invite you to the conversation with none other than Nina Ball. Hello there, beautiful.
Hi, Carol. How are you?
I will not complain. You hear me say it? I
Oh,
won't
that's
complain.
right.
I could though. I mean, you know, but
Listen,
but
okay,
I won't.
but we
But I
choose
won't.
not to.
But I
Exactly.
won't.
How are
So
you?
welcome back. I'm good. I am good. You know what? I feel good. It was a crazy day, but
Yeah.
here we are. I'm
Yes.
happy to be here with everybody, with the family, and to be here
Mhm.
with you, and I'm anxious to hear what you have to share with us because for those of you who are unaware, and because I did not mention it, Nina is here on behalf of the African American Museum in Philadelphia. And, we always have big interest in what's going on at the museum. So thank you for visiting and for coming back. So
My
I
pleasure.
want to know, how are things coming along this month in Black History Month? How are things coming along at the museum?
Oh, things are
For Black
really beautiful at the museum. We had a number of different events just to celebrate and commemorate Black History Month. This year's theme was African Americans and the Arts. We started
Mm.
off with a lecture by Dr. Hassan Jeffries, and he really rooted that lecture in the history of where African American art began and its ties, just to our struggle and the evolution of how it is also connected to protest. And then we moved into a
Mm.
space where we did a creative writing workshop. I was able to lead that in my capacity as director of programming, but also as Lyrispec, and just have a moment to plug in directly with the community, where we were writing poems, we were writing creative writing pieces, and also connecting with our current exhibitions to make that tie in and really bring that all home. So it's been really good. I could tell you about a couple other ones, but we had a really great finale on Sunday. So it was a really great time.
I love that. Well, what took place at the finale? Don't leave me out. I wasn't
I'm not
able to
listen.
attend. What? Listen, we want to know everything.
Okay,
Everything.
good, good. So we had so first we had an event called Hidden in Plain Sight, and that was ahead of the creative writing. And it was the Afro-Indigenous contributions to arts and culture. So it was a really nice way to integrate these shared heritages, that make up who we are. The finale was probably one of my favorite events of all of Black History Month, because we called it Black History Heroes, and we encouraged young people 13 and under to dress as their favorite Black history icon. And so we had a little Betty Shabazz and Malcolm X dressed up. I mean, full covering. We had a little Josephine Baker. We had a couple of Harriet Tubmans. We had a couple, some really inventive and beautiful and thoughtful costumes. And it was such a community moment because families came together, and you could tell the little ones that dressed up, they were so small that clearly their parents were heavily involved in, their presence there. So that was fantastic. We played a game led by our Morgan Lloyd, our program coordinator, where we connected to different superpowers that we might have, and she connected it to a historical figure who had done it first. It's just fabulous. Yeah, we had a dramatic reading, and it was also catered. Our executive vice president read Carter Reads the Newspaper, which is about Carter G. Woodson, who founded Black History Month. Really, community and history and art and expression just on full display.
Okay, so I really feel badly because I missed a lot.
That's all right.
That sounds like that sounds like so much fun. All of that sounds like everything in which I have an interest. And let me tell you how I would have loved to see all the babies dressed. What, Nina, you should have brought us some pictures.
You know what? We have some pictures on the way. I'm almost certain of it. Yes, we do. It's
Family,
fabulous.
we want to see pictures, right? We want to know. We like to know everything. Well, I know you all are saying no, Carol. You want to know everything. I do. I do. I do. I share that with you. I want to know it all. Okay.
You know what, Carol? And that's a perfect time to say our pictures. If you follow us on Instagram, that's the most likely the place that you'll find it. Is definitely a great opportunity to follow the museum and get plugged in with what we're doing.
Wait. Okay. So that's also the perfect opportunity to tell us what the Instagram handle is for the museum.
The Instagram handle is at AAMP Museum. So if you tag at AMP Museum, you'll be able to be plugged in with us and all that we have going on. It's fabulous. People think in the stories, so check out the stories. But we also have some cool stationary posts as well, and it leads you to our website with ampmuseum.org. So
I love that. So, family, I just put the Instagram handle in the chat for those of you that are checking the chat. I just put it in the chat for you. And what we're going to do right now is take just a short commercial break. I didn't realize it, Nina. I was so carried away in the conversation about what was taking place at the museum that I didn't realize what time it was. Family, listen, the phone lines are still open and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. I promise I'll do my best to read it aloud. But in the meantime, like I said, we're going to take just a short commercial break. So stay with us because we will be right back.
WURD is happy to provide our listeners with the opportunity to participate in contests and win prizes. This is a reminder of our contest rules. All participants must be 18 years of age or older, depending on the contest. Persons may win only one prize from the radio station per contest for every 30-day period. Some contests might also specify one winner per household or company. Prizes must be claimed within 14 days or by 12 noon the day before the event, whichever is sooner, and must be accepted as is or forfeited. The radio station employees and their immediate relatives, sponsor employees and their immediate relatives, live remote sponsor employees and their immediate relatives, and any other media employees are ineligible to win the prize. Thank you for participating and for listening to WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Word Radio Digital Tip of the Month with Stephanie Humphrey is brought to you by Comcast.
We all love the convenience of online shopping, but don't blow your budget by falling for these online tricks. Pay attention to things that might get automatically added to your cart by default, like insurance on concert tickets or travel. Don't fall for the sense of urgency some sites create with countdown clocks or inventory trackers claiming that time is running out to buy. And don't be pressured into buying more than you need just to get the free shipping. If the additional items in your cart are more than the shipping cost, was it really free? Take advantage of how easy online shopping can be, but don't let it take advantage of you. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
Don't settle for bumps, ingrowns, and itch due to dry skin. Try Venus for pubic hair and skin, the razor and regimen specifically designed for your pubic area. Featuring a razor with patent irritation defense bar and skin care regimen that is dermatologist and gynecologist tested. Venus helps protect your pubic skin from shave irritation. Discover the full regimen of products at GilletteVenus.com.
Tune into Word Radio this Thursday at 10 a.m. for City Council Live, hosted by Ernest Owens. Join conversations that matter to your community with your local City Council members.
It's too black, which means it's too strong.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black Talk Media, WURD.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. In this moment, we are talking with the Director of Programming for the African American Museum in Philadelphia, none other than our love bug, Nina Ball, who has joined us for just a short time tonight to share some things with us. Before we continue this conversation, though, I do want to share that Miss Lily is in agreement, too. So we've got two Black History moments all year round. Yay. I love it. I love it. And Eric shares that he believes he saw your event on the news last week. The turnout was phenomenal, he shares. So congratulations on that. Yes, yes, yes. And he also shares Yeah, you know I would have. I know. He says, Carol, you would have loved seeing those babies. I know. Y'all know I love the babies. You know I do. I would have. And Smitty is joining us. Hey there, Smitty, Mr. and Mrs. Smitty. And I did mention Gerald Beasley earlier, but I did not mention his lovely wife, Roxanne. Hi, Roxy. Just in the event you are joining us with Gerald. I'm going to take a moment to go to our phone lines. One of our beloveds is calling in to join the conversation. Hi, Miss Audrey. Welcome to the conversation, and thank you for calling.
Thank you for taking my call, Carol, and it's good to talk with you and good to be in the company of your guest. It's an honor to be in your company, Director Nina of the African American Museum.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. So, Carol, in answer to your question, yes, we need to have Black history every day of the year.
Yes, Miss Audrey.
And with that said, I want to call to everyone's attention Wallace Brown. He is across the waters in Westfield, New Jersey. And he goes, his family, his roots can be traced all the way back in Westfield, New Jersey, to the 17th century. And he himself is a Korean War veteran. He is the first African American special agent in Criminal Investigation Division in New Jersey, and served on the Secret Service Presidential Detail.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, what? And you can follow that by WPVI Channel 6 did a quick summary of him. Now, also, shout out to two women, because we're going into the month of March. These women are in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and their nonprofit organization is the Greenwood Plan after Tulsa, right? And so they acquired a historic building. How about that? In downtown Pittsburgh, known as the iconic Pitt Building. And what they endeavor to do, their names are Camille Bailey and Samantha Black. What they endeavor to do is to have a Black business enterprise offices inside that historic building to upgrade the entrepreneurship of Black African Americans.
Oh my God, that feels so good.
It does. And I found it out through a Facebook friend, Brother Sam Wofford. When he shared that, I was like exploding all over. Let me find more information and boom, put them out there so people know, because those are our young adults.
Wait, Camille Bailey and what was the name of the other young lady?
The other name is Samantha. Wait a minute, let me make sure. Camille Bailey and Samantha Black.
Samantha Black. I'm
Yeah.
taking my notes. Oh, I love it. Oh, Miss Audrey, thank you. Look, I was sharing with Nina beforehand, before we went on the air. I said, it feels so good to talk about us. It feels so good to share about us, about what we're doing, to celebrate us. It just feels so good. It feels so good. That's why I said we have to do this. I mean, come on now, not just for February.
That's right.
That's right. And just one last word of mentioning. Mr. Wallace Brown is part of the Dr. Martin Luther King nonprofit organization that is making sure that history is not forgotten. How about that?
Well, I've taken my notes, Miss Audrey. I have taken my notes.
Me too.
Something to shout about, right?
Yes, Nina and I both have our pens, and we have taken our notes. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, love you more. Oh my goodness, family. See that? Doesn't that just feel good?
That
Oh,
was
that's like a
beautiful.
forehead kiss right there. That was a nice little forehead kiss. We have another family member waiting to join the conversation. Ron, our beloved, is online too. Hi, Ron. Thank you for calling, and thank you for your patience.
Yes, hello to both of y'all. I have a request from you and your family. I would like to I got a brand new phone for Auntie and her husband. I would like them, nobody had that number, maybe myself and, so.
Okay.
And I want to talk to Auntie about down through the years for Black women's history. And I want her husband and her auntie to hear that because of where she's at in the metamorphosis that she's, going through.
Yes.
And it would be such a privilege for her and her husband and anyone else in the family if they choose to listen in on her call for this Black History Women's Month. And what I have done, because I'm very creative in my thinking, I will put the 7 sisters, which bring it up to 8. She said that she had 8 sisters, and talk about down through the years. My auntie, while she's with us, and I don't mean to sound morbid. So I'm asking you, it would be a privilege if you would give her and her husband my number, the number I'm going to give when I hang up.
Okay.
I'll give, where they can call me at any time. Let me say this to you, Cal. It is crucial. What do I mean by this word crucial? For her at this time to know that she have a family and what she have produced because of her mother and with her husband, never thought that she would have a story called Love and Life and the participated like Malcolm and the others did that. It had to make her maybe not cry, but she couldn't have
Oh, Ron, we're losing.
Hello?
There we, okay.
Yes, I'll just hang up and I give the number, because I can give the number, the new number. Nobody had the number for her and her husband to call me whenever they was in their solitude.
And I promise you I will get that to them.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Cal. May everyone be blessed. Yeah,
Thank
Cal,
you. Yes.
I went for my test today. I'm on a diet. I heard your program yesterday. My lunch meal consisted of nothing but vegetables and fruit. And my primary, like I always respect her opinion, the program you had last night, excellent. Excellent.
Oh, thank you, Ron.
Will benefit by. So thank you very much. I hope to hear from them soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. As always, family, you hear my fur child is working through some things behind me. So I'm going to ask that you just, be a little patient as she saves the world, because that's what's happening right now. She is saving the world.
That's all right.
So for those of you who have just joined us, welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick and Chloe Chanel right here on WURD, because Chloe Chanel is joining me in this moment. We are talking with Nina Ball, who is the Director of Programming for the African American Museum in Philadelphia. Yes, Malcolm. Malcolm shares your fur baby is cutting up. Well, yes, she is. Okay, because there is something going on. She is saving me from something. Okay, that's what I'm holding on to. But in this time, Nina, I'm going to defer to you because I know you all have something else coming up. I'm going to ask if you will share with us about exactly what that is.
Certainly. Thank you so much, Carol. So I'm really excited to announce we have the River Revisited. We are going to do an evening that incorporates the Philadelphia Ballet and the Clef Club Jazz Club for Jazz and Performing Arts. It's going to be a really great event. This is the second year that we have done a collaboration with the Philadelphia Ballet. Last year for MLK weekend, we had a day of dance where there were pop-up activations of dancers and it culminated in a panel. And we wanted to do something just as meaningful this time around. The Philadelphia Ballet has acquired The River, and we'll be presenting excerpts of that for dance masterpieces at the Academy of Music, March 14th through the 16th. And we are doing a preliminary event not only to highlight this particular dance piece, but also really to bring together organizations and people in support of arts and culture and a certain standard of excellence. It's really going to be a beautiful night.
Wow, it sounds like it. Oh my gosh. No, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. So from what time until what time will this event take place?
Yes. So Audiences can start attending as early as 3:30. The doors open. We're having a little master class. There is limited capacity, only space for about 50 people or so to view it, but that'll be led by Anthony DeWitt Boyd, who's coming in to us from the South, and he's also going to be on the panel later in that day. So from 4 to 5:15, there's going to be that master class where special invitation went out to dancers that will get to actually take the class, but about 50 of us community members, people that want to come to the event, can witness different techniques that Ailey used, and also just the master brilliance of Antonio, excuse me. So from then on, doors open at 5 if you want to come in for the reception. We're going to have a reception, wine and cheese, featuring the music of the Clef Club Ambassador Alumni Ensemble, and they're going to be playing just the music of Duke Ellington. And one of the great tie-ins about that is because The River by Ailey was entirely scored by Sir Duke Ellington. Which is why we want to make that tie-in and really give Sir Duke his due as well. So it's going to be beautiful. I can tell you about the panel. I can tell you about everything. It's really something we're really looking forward to as 3 different organizations.
I mean, it sounds so elegant. It sounds so classic. It sounds so educational. It sounds so entertaining. I mean, y'all didn't miss the mark anywhere with this event. I mean, Alvin Ailey, Duke Ellington, the Clef Club, like the Philadelphia Ballet, like, ooh, and the African American Museum.
That's right.
I mean, come on. It doesn't get any better than that. So when is it again? Please tell us.
So it's going to be on March 7th. You can come as early as 3:30, 4 o'clock, but the panel gets started at 6. We really want folk to come out to the reception as well. We have plenty of space and room, and it's really going to be a night not to be missed. So many icons and legends on the panel in conversation with one another about these 2 giants and what their contributions were to the landscape of arts and culture, dance and music. It's just really going to be an amazing night. We have Guthrie Ramsey, Guggenheim Fellow, who's going to serve as our music historian and hold it down for Duke and Duke's part in all of it. We have Sylvia Waters, who's going to moderate it, and she was handpicked by Mr. Ailey to be artistic director of Ailey 2, served 38 years in that particular role. We have Angel Corella, executive director of Philadelphia Ballet, in conversation as well. And we have a couple other surprises and special guests, and it's just really going to be a beautiful night. We're really looking forward to it.
I mean, it sounds like it. Okay. So where can we find out more information about this event?
Yes, you want to visit our museum website at ampmuseum.org. That's AAMPmuseum.org. As I mentioned before, you can hit our social media and it'll lead you right back to the website. You can grab your tickets now. We really hope to have a really nice crowd in conversation. There'll be opportunities to network, just something different to do on a Thursday night,
On a Thursday. You how about that? You can start the weekend off right.
That's right. And we conclude our event around 7:15. So it's still an early night.
Oh, yeah.
For after work crowd, music lovers, dance lovers, arts and culture enthusiasts. It's just going to be a great time.
That's a grown folks event. That's what that is. That's for good and grown folk.
Okay.
That's what I love. That's what I love. OMG, family. For those of you who have just joined us, welcome, because I'm sure if you joined us earlier, you did not hear me say what I'm about to say because my fur child was in the conversation. But welcome to Love and Life with Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking with one of our love bugs, Nina Ball, who is the director of programming for the African American Museum right here in Philadelphia. And she just shared with us what sounds like an amazing event. This event will take place on March 7th, to be correct.
That's right.
On March 7th. And when I tell you the culmination of the African American Museum of Philadelphia, Alvin Ailey, oh my goodness, an event that actually honors Alvin Ailey. That in and of itself. And for me, that's special because I used to go to all of the performances when I was little. And one of my cousins danced. And so my mother would take me to all of them. So I love dance. I am not a dancer. That was not one of my gifts. It is not in my ministry.
That's your ministry?
No. But listen, I watch with intent. Okay.
That's right. Listen, okay. As do I.
I watch with intent. Like I'm there with them in spirit. So I give it all I've got.
Yeah.
But I want to say thank you so much, Nina, for coming to join us and to share information with us. Feel free to go to socials, the Instagram to be specific, AMP Museum at AMP Museum on Instagram. I did share, and Nina did share with you the website, which is ampmuseum.org. And Nina has to leave us, but family, we're going to take a short commercial break. So stay with us because we're coming right back. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Nina.
Thank you so much, Carol. Good night, everyone.
Ensemble Art celebrates the accomplishments, heritage, and culture of Black artists all season long. From jazz sensations Terrence Blanchard to Samara Joy to legendary local ensembles like Philadanco, Ensemble Arts honors the many valuable contributions these artists have gifted our society. This month, Ensemble Arts pays homage to Kev on Stage. A comedic luminary, Kevin Hendricks, also known as Kev on Stage, has played a pivotal role in empowering the Black community through laughter. Through his digital platform, he addresses societal issues with insightful humor that transcends boundaries and offers a fresh, impactful perspective. Don't miss the chance to experience his brilliance live as Kev on Stage and That Chick Angel take the stage at the Miller Theater on March 30th. This Black History Month spotlight was presented by Ensemble Arts. For a full list of offerings throughout the month of February and beyond, visit ensembleartsphilly.org.
This is Word on Democracy with highlights from our live broadcast from the White House.
Right here, right now, with Harry Coker. He is the National Cyber Director. How much of a risk are we as a nation for a cyber security attack?
We are at unacceptable risk when it comes to our nation's critical infrastructure. And critical infrastructure is vital to the American way of life. It covers everything from water, energy, transportation, education, healthcare, manufacturing, on and on.
I have the privilege now of speaking with Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. Our unions in many ways are still somewhat discriminatory, even though they are going to be essential to the election bid. How do we leverage the opportunities that we're talking about to make those players respond to your vision?
Yeah, so to be clear, I'm not just talking about moral support. I'm talking about money and I'm talking about policy. On the money side, it's making clear that there are funds for these kinds of workforce efforts. On the policy side, we changed the policy to make local hire preferences possible. There's a lot we can do with that funding and that policy that just wasn't possible before President Biden got here.
Madam Vice President, it's great to see you. Thank you so much. Good to see you again. What is the administration doing to change outcomes for Black people in the criminal justice system?
One of the things that we have done is on the federal criminal justice system, we have banned chokeholds. We have restricted no-knock warrants, required that there will be a federal database for police misconduct. The number of pattern and practice investigations has increased around police departments that are engaged in a pattern and practice of discriminatory and racial biased policing. And so that has been part of our approach, but there is still more to do.
We are WURD. Your vote matters.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper car, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black talk media, WURD.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. So you see everything was taking place, okay, just a moment ago. Everything. I had to try to calm my fur baby down, and it was a delivery. OMG. That was just a visit from one of our love bugs, Nina Ball. She was sharing with us. She is the director of programming for the African American Museum right here in Philadelphia. And she was sharing with us about an upcoming event. This sounds amazing to me. I do want to share that Alfred is checking in. Hi there, Alfred. So happy to have you join us. Look at him. He's talking about my fur baby, too. Yes, my fur child was saving the world just a moment ago. You all witnessed it. You all witnessed hearing her save the world. And Heather, okay, we've got Heather's vote, too. We've got Heather's vote for Black History all year round. Thank you, Boo. Yes. Hi, Miss Viola. She is checking in as well. Miss Viola is always a pleasure hearing from you. And Jeff, hi there, Jeff. Thank you for joining us again tonight. Jeff was one of our guests last night. He and Muhammad joined us last night. Jeff Mason and Muhammad Abdur Rahim joined us last night. The conversation that Ron was talking about that he enjoyed, that he appreciated. So thank you, Jeff, once again for last night. Thank you. And Eric is clowning me. Eric shares that I don't dance. Well, guess what? I tried. I did. I took ballet lessons when I was a little girl. I did. But he shares, I guess we won't be doing the bop. Eric, let me tell you something. I can bop. Okay. I can bop. So if you want to bop, let's get it in. We can bop. Now I got that. But Cheryl is checking in too. Cheryl Brown. Hey there, beautiful. So happy to have you join us as well. Eric Peterson. Hey there, Eric. Hi there. Happy to have you join us as well. And Chip, I sent you some extra love yesterday on the loss of your loved one. The family is keeping you in prayer on your loss, and we pray that all is coming along better with and for you. Alfred says his vote is for Black History 365. I love that. Oh, wait a minute, Alfred. I might have to put that in my pocket. Maybe we'll have a Black History 365. So that's what we're going to. Oh, can I use that, Alfred? I'm going to ask you on the air. Black History 365. Yes. So family, here we are. Because it's Tuesday, we will be talking with Chris in a short while. But I haven't shared, what's going on in the headlines with you in a minute. So I figured, why not talk about some things? Thank you, Alfred. Alfred says, yes, I can use it. Malcolm shares he was in the kitchen, but the vote is in Black History Month all year round. I love it. So family, did you know that Macy's is going to close 150 stores? Did you know that? Did anybody know that? It reads that Macy's today actually said that it plans to close roughly 150 underperforming stores over the next 3 years. First of all, I was shocked because I felt like, everybody's still shopping. It looks like everybody's still shopping and everybody's still in Macy's nonetheless. But it reads that 50 of the stores will close over the next year. Are you a Macy's shopper? I don't know. Maybe I was the only one in shock because I'll run to Macy's. That's my go-to, the first store that I run to if I need something. Are you in shock, or did you already know? I'm just curious to know. Did you already know that? Am I the one new to it? And I want to share something else with you. I read that there is a trend of Black women using doulas to overcome maternal death rates. Were you aware of that? It reads that Black women having babies are at an increased risk of death, according to the CDC. That maternal mortality has a growing number of Black women turning to doulas. More Black women are using doulas to overcome disparities in healthcare. Natasha Brereton is a busy mom of a 15-month-old twins. When her girls arrived early, a group of doulas stood by her side during labor and delivery. I thought that was really interesting, that story, especially coming after the story about the young woman or the young couple whose baby was decapitated during birth. I'm not sure if you were familiar with that story, but I'm interested in knowing what you think and how you feel about that. What do you think about that? Black women turning to doulas. That was really interesting to me. Chip shares that one of his friends, his best friend, as a matter of fact, is an amazing doula. I love that. I love that. Cheryl, I feel you. Cheryl says Macy's is her store too. What are we going to do, Cheryl? They're starting to close our stores. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And so Eric shares that he hopes that the old Wanamaker's location, that's the Macy's right down there in Center City, Philadelphia. He hopes that that's not one of the locations. I know. I do too. I do too. Although I don't run to Center City because I hate paying for parking. I can't stand that. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. In any event, something else that I read is about the opioid epidemic. I read that there is a fourth wave of an opioid epidemic. I'm not sure if you read this story, but it reads the United States is knee deep in what some experts call the opioid epidemic's fourth wave, which is not only placing drug users at greater risk, but is also complicating efforts to address the nation's drug problem. It reads these waves, according to a report out from Millennium Health, began with the crisis in prescription opioid use, followed by a significant jump in heroin use, then an increase in the use of synthetic opioids like fentanyl. I'm telling you now, I don't know if you all have been following this, because I started reading up about the opioid crisis it was maybe a few months ago, because I happened upon a movie. I think it was a movie. It was episodic. It was on Hulu, and it was called Dope Sick. When I tell you I don't know if any of you have seen it. Have you seen Dope Sick on Hulu? It spoke specifically about the opioid crisis and the beginning of it. And it was around that time when the family who started the crisis was being sued. Now, I will tell you, they were sued. There was some money paid, but we're still in the midst of an opioid epidemic. And here we are, a fourth wave of it. So what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? In any event, I wanted to know what you think about these things that I'm sharing, because I'm reading what's going on and taking place in the world and reading what's in the news. So let me know, family, what you think and how you feel. Feel free to comment on our socials, but also feel free to give me a call, because I like to talk to you too. You can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can even call toll free 1-866-361-0900. One thing I do want to share, this is a feel-good story. Frederick Douglass' descendant delivered free memoirs to Philadelphia students. Let me not tell you, I'm so jealous. It reads, now that book has found its way into the hands of students in one Philadelphia classroom centuries later, thanks to Frederick Douglass's descendants and local organizations. I thought this was so amazing, just to touch a piece of our history. Just, ooh. Dozens of books were delivered to local students, and they spoke at their Black History Month celebration. The day after these books were delivered would have been Frederick Douglass's 206th birthday. Y'all, well, you know how excited I get talking about us. I tell y'all all the time. The last thing that I want to share is that this headline reads, there are 4 days until a partial government shutdown, and lawmakers have yet to reach a deal to avert it. Here we are again with this government shutdown. Y'all, again, what are we doing? What is happening? All right, I've given you some things to mull over, so we have some things to talk about before Chris joins us. But in this moment, we're going to take just a short commercial break. So family, stay with us because you know we're coming right back.
It's the WURD Hot 60. Hot 60. Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed on Love and Life.
So Uncle Junior, you were telling us of the day of when you met. Would you mind telling us that story?
This was back in 1966. I arrived early, and I was sitting there when Mel and 2 of her friends walked in. She looked at me and she smiled, and to the day she don't know why she smiled at me. And then she came walking across the floor towards me, and I was hooked. She was stepping. And her father came in, and I could see the resemblance. So I asked him, do you mind if I dance with your sister? He said, that's not my sister, that's my daughter. Don't ask me, ask her. So I did, and we danced. And she told me, she said, if you hold me a little closer, I can follow you better. And I was hooked already. And I asked her for her phone number. And when I went home, I wrote her a letter telling her I was going to marry her.
And that's your hottest 60 seconds from Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Okay, remember what I told you. Be your own boss. Love yourself. Level up.
Level Up is back. In celebration of Women's History Month, Level Up returns highlighting Black women-owned businesses who are making a difference in our communities. In partnership with WVON Chicago and KJLH Los Angeles, this signature initiative gives you the opportunity to nominate your business or one of your favorite Black woman-owned businesses a chance to become one of 5 finalists who will be featured in a Shark Tank-like style pitch party where the winner will be selected by a panel of independent corporate sector judges and will receive a grand prize valued at $5,000. Get ready. The submission process opens soon. Stay tuned to WURD for more exciting details. Level Up 2024 is brought to you by Comcast, the Pennsylvania Lottery, Keystone First, and Bank of America.
Level up, level up, level up.
On Thursday, February 29th, join the Economy League of Greater Philadelphia for their 2024 Page Summit to be held at the historic Belmont Mansion beginning at 4 p.m. The Philadelphia Anchors for Growth and Equity Summit is a network where leaders from institutional procurement, community impact, supplier diversity, and minority business enterprises come together to learn from each other through collaborative dialogue and groundbreaking ideas. This evening will feature keynote speaker, City of Philadelphia Commerce Director Alba Martinez, and other esteemed panelists, including Michael Pearson, Dr. Erica Patterson, Victoria Daniels, Jonathan Sterling, and Angelica Maytag. You can visit Eventbrite to register for this event or theeconomyleague.org. Go to events page for more information.
Don't miss big-time women's college basketball with the Temple Owls battle Tulsa in a battle for first place in the American Athletic Conference this Wednesday at 7 p.m. at the Leocore Center. It's Dollar Hot Dog Night at the game. Plus, the first 1,000 fans will receive a Temple t-shirt. Kids tickets on game day are only $7. Visit owltix.com.
I need some extra money. Do I qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit?
Use the EITC Assistant tool. With just a little information, this tool helps you calculate eligibility with ease and accuracy, get an estimate of how much credit you qualify for, and get a printout of your results before you prepare your return or visit your tax preparer. To use the EITC Assistant tool and see if you're eligible to claim a credit, visit irs.gov/EITC.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Let's face it, life looks a little different. During these times, we're doing our best to keep our minds and bodies strong. And getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy, so we don't miss out on what matters, like having game night at home. Yeah, can't do that while sick with the flu. Now imagine family movie night that your daughter can't live without. Well, that's ruined. And don't forget your uncle's socially distanced cookout. See, that's why it's important to be at our strongest. Every year, millions of people in the US get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Remember the last time your family visited the forest? It's a place of wonder and imagination for the whole family, where stories come to life. And it's closer than you think. Ready to plan your next visit? Make the forest part of your story today at a local park near you, or find one at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
We are the home of progressive Black Talk Media. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. So, family, I was sharing with you before the commercial break some headlines that I saw in the news. And I want to go to our socials for a moment because I was asking you to join the conversation. I invited you to either call or comment on our socials, and that you did. Eric shares, wow, that's a lot of stores nationwide. Talking about Macy's, who is scheduled to close 150 stores. OMG. And 50 stores over the next year, right? Oh my gosh. Well, it did share that the department store plans to focus on expanding. Do you hear me making up words? Expanding its luxury brands like Bloomingdale's and Blue Mercury. So we have that to look forward to. But I love Macy's. So I thought that was interesting. Malcolm shares, it's not new to him about Macy's. They've been closing stores for a while. He shares that he has a cousin who's a supervisor there in New Jersey. Oh, wow. See, that got past me. I didn't realize they had been closing stores already. And Miss Audrey shares, we absolutely need it. We need doulas. Doulas throughout pregnancy and providing support during birth delivery. That was to the story that I shared, or the headline that I shared about the trend of Black women using doulas to overcome maternal death rates. So she was responding to that story. And Alfred shares, pharmaceutical companies can influence what happens on the black market of drugs, but they can do much more, in his opinion. Yeah, they sure can. Right now, They're doing a lot, and not so much of it is good. Ayatunde, hi there. Ayatunde Garrett joins us. Welcome, and is joining the conversation and shares, my sister-in-law is an awesome doula and was one to my daughter. They make the birthing experience so beautiful. I'm loving hearing that. I really am. And Miss Audrey shares, shout out to Governor Josh Shapiro. When he was Attorney General in Pennsylvania, he secured $10 billion in opioid crisis relief funds. That right there is amazing. It is amazing. I do want to share also, Ms. Audrey followed up from last night's episode. I was sharing with you that Brother Muhammad Abdul Rahim and Jeff Mason, brothers, Jeff Mason and Muhammad Abdul Rahim joined us, and we're talking about prostate cancer, talking about their experiences and their journeys. And Brother Muhammad shared that if anyone wants to talk with him, he shared his number, 215-778-3913. He shared, if you are in need of support, to give him a call. So I wanted to make sure I shared that with you all. Hi there, Arm. My cousin Armin is joining us. Hi, Arm. Nice to have you join us as well. Well, family, here we are. It is 8 o'clock. It is on a Tuesday, and you know what we do on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. We talk to the one and only, our oracle and guru of sports. For those of you who are unaware or unfamiliar, I'm going to tell you. Yes, I am. We talk with none other than Chris Murray. Chris Murray is a radio personality. He's a journalist. He's a college professor. He's so many things. With more than 30 years of experience, he's covered the Super Bowl, World Series, the NCAA tournament, the NBA playoffs, and World Championship boxing, as well as other sporting events. Currently, though, he hosts his own sports show Saturdays right here on Word, The Chris Murray Report. And as our resident sports guru, he has agreed to visit with us, the Love and Life family, to share his perspectives on all aspects of the sports world. So, family, I invite you to the conversation with none other than Chris Murray. Hey, Chris.
How are you, Carol? How's everything going, man?
I am well. I will not complain. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
I will not.
Yeah. Well, I'm in Baltimore this week. I'm covering the CIAA, the Black College tournament down here. And, I'm here for that. I'm also teaching and, just a whole lot of things. And, I've been busy all day today between teaching and writing and all this other stuff. So, but I'm ready, but I'm always looking forward to this time of the day that we can talk about a whole bunch of things in sports. And so, although what's on everybody's mind today? And maybe I can kind of provide some explanation.
Well, we want to talk about Cam Newton. Everybody wants to talk about that.
Yeah, I figured as much.
That was coming into the conversation at some point.
Yeah, I knew that was coming, and something there's something wrong. There's just something wrong in the world today. I mean, Cam Newton, first of all, how are you going to fight a guy who's like 6'6" and, as well chiseled as that guy is? I mean, and then to the fact that people feel that they have to, you're at his football camp. He's taking his time to help, to help in the community, and people want to fight. I mean, that's disgraceful. That is absolutely disgraceful. And that happened in Atlanta, one of our major black cities. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's almost like, a lot of what we do it reminds me of a lot of what we do as professors. We try to teach, or teachers, and not just professors, but K through 12. People put their heart and soul into teaching and to helping young people. And it's really difficult when you have, people who are, who are not grateful, people who want to just challenge and fight, whether it's a teacher or Cam Newton and all that. There's something wrong with the value structure because, years ago, you would never have done that, dude. You would have never gotten involved, especially with somebody, like if Jackie Robinson or somebody like Ryan Howard came into your neighborhood and they're teaching you and they're taking their time, their valuable time to help you, help you, expose you to what they know. And just so that kids can see their heroes live and in person, that situation I saw the film of it, and I'm gonna echo what everybody else is saying. That is disgraceful. I mean,
is
it's just a
disgraceful.
terrible thing.
Well, let me ask you this, because I didn't read anywhere what this was all about. Why did this start? What happened?
I don't know.
Not that it matters. I'm sorry,
Right.
family. Let me say that. Not that it even matters. It does not matter. But I was curious to know.
A few years ago, somebody, at a football camp said, "Oh, Cam, you're trash," and all this other stuff. And I don't know if that's social media or whatever, but for people, I don't know. First of all, as an NFL quarterback, I mean, Cam Newton is an MVP. He's won at just about every level as a player. And and a lot of times when he took that Carolina team to the Super Bowl, he was the weapon. He didn't have anybody else, in there helping him out and all that. This is a guy, like I said again, I don't get, part of it, I think, is social media. People feel emboldened to say what they want. And basically, you don't know, as someone pointed out, you don't know these people. You don't know, and you and I guess you have more fans than I do. And nobody comes up, I would hope that no one would do that to you or me or anybody else. I mean, you gotta show respect for people. I show respect for people, even the people I disagree with. You have to show some form of respect and decorum for people. I don't know where kids are getting this. They're getting this from their parents. They're getting this from, what's going on in sports media or whatever. But, I guess it's the loudmouth, hey, I don't like you. And it's just the negativity that flows around. And I just think at the end of the day, it's the kind of stuff that makes you, just shake your head about sports and all these other things, because it's not the fault of sports. I mean, a lot of parents are trying to put their kids, are trying to say, hey, you're going to play sports. And and at some point, you're going to have to come to the harsh realization that not all of y'all are going to make it. If I would say 9/10 of you, if I had to say 10 in a room of 10 people, 9/10 of you aren't going to make it, are going to be going pro in something other than sports. And granted, while I've made my career on covering sports, one of the things that I'm glad that everybody who participates in sports is gonna get off the bus at some point. Some of y'all are gonna stop at Little League. Some of you gonna stop in high school. Some of you gonna get cut from your college team as a walk-on. Some of you will be 4 years in college and you'll be riding the bench and whatnot. But you got a free scholarship and you got education if you decide to take advantage of that. And this whole thing that everybody thinks that they are somehow that they have a chance to go to the pros and all this other stuff, try to learn some life lessons out of sports. Sports can teach you a lot of life lessons about teamwork, but everybody looks at that money and all that. But you could learn a lot from a guy like Cam Newton. You can learn a lot, not just about football and whatnot, because Cam was one of a few select people. It's a funny thing. When I cover boxing, for example, a lot of people may say this fighter is a bum, but you wouldn't say that fighter is a bum in his face, because you have to remember one immutable thing. That guy may not be the best amongst other great boxers, but he can beat you and whatnot. And that's the same thing. And that's the same thing in basketball. The 12th guy on the NBA on the NBA bench is better than you, better than me. Okay, so when people say, or people who thought Cam Newton was trash, how many of your parents have made it to the NFL? Not many people make it there, and I think that we have to keep that in perspective. That you didn't make it there. You may not like, him on the team, but how many people? Not many people get to Super Bowls, and what? Not
Not
many
many people have
become
his skill set.
right.
Yeah.
And he may not be, you may say this guy is not comparable to this guy or that guy, but like I said, the 43rd person on the NFL roster is better than you, better than y'all sitting at home having a beer,
Having an opinion.
having chicken wings and all this other stuff. They're better than you. You can't do what they do.
I want to share with you, Chris, and you're absolutely right. How about that? Cheryl Brown shares, good evening, Chris Murray. Alfred shares, you better teach. He shares, teach, Brother Murray. And Malcolm shares, that's real talk. That's real talk, Chris. Yeah. I'm sorry. Harold shares, Harold Sprittle. Hi there, Harold. He shares, at first we thought it was kids that he was fighting. Then we found out it was the coaches. They were grown men that he was tossing around like kids. I did see that. I did not see the full clip. I did not. But I did
saw the
see
clip when he was throwing the people, when somebody was trying to throw a punch at him.
Because I thought they were children too. I thought they were kids, but they were grown men. They were grown men. Alfred follows up by saying, give respect and then we get respect. Sports is a microcosm of the bigger world.
It is.
And then Alfred follows that with sharing, look at quarterback Purdue, last drafted, but made it to the Super Bowl as a starter. How about that?
Brock
Purdy. Yep. Brock Purdy. Yeah. And I read it. No, I knew. I knew. But yeah, Brock Purdy. Absolutely right. How about that? Absolutely right. Eric has a question for you though, Chris. He shares, hey, Master Murray, welcome back. When will you have your book signing? When will it be here in Philadelphia and the tri-state area?
So there's some business things that if I can ever speak to you offline that I'm trying to work out. But yeah, I am anxious to get that going. And I was trying to get it done last week, but some things kind of happened. And so, but I'm working to get that done. Believe me, I'm working to get that done. And because I want to talk to people about these things regarding sports and social justice and all these things, I came in and I just found out that the state of Tennessee is trying to pass a law against protesting and all that. So that it's really crucial that we talk about these things, and sports has something to do with it. But when I see, I don't know, I'm in a world where when people for some reason are losing their ability to think more critically, to have critical thinking skills, and we're prioritizing things. Don't get it twisted. I love sports, but I would hope that people who have children who are playing sports, that you're thinking about their education. Because like I said again, not everybody is going, and not everybody's going pro.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Miss Audrey has a question for you. She shares what's on her mind, Mr. Murray. Does Philadelphia and the regional area have enough talent to mirror some of the talents of the international iconics Globetrotters?
You're talking about like the Harlem Globetrotters?
It sounds like it. Miss Audrey, would you be referring to the Harlem Globetrotters? And Ayatunde joined the conversation, sharing Cam is definitely about that black love. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this guy gives this guy, and the dog agrees too.
Oh, she's been very vocal tonight.
Yeah. And the thing is, people give, Cam, I think, is spending more time giving back, to people and all that. And you got to give back. And that's more important. Like, I don't care what Colin Kaepernick has done in his career. What he did is far more important.
Absolutely.
And far more important. And I think giving back to a community that desperately needs people to give back to it, because so much has been taken from these communities. And for people to
react the way that they did. Well, Chris, I want to invite Nick to the conversation. And Nick, I know on Tuesdays when we talk about sports, this is typically when, you jump in. So I would love for you to join the conversation if you'd like to do so.
Thank you for just giving me a moment here. I promise I won't take up too much of your time, Chris and Carol. I did see the story. I saw the video first, and then found out a little bit more about what started it. And I mean, we don't exactly know what started it. We just know that there was these two coaches there, and they had an argument with Cam, and somehow this turned into an altercation once one of them put their hands on him. And then presumably their students, the kids that they were with, had jumped in to kind of help out their coach or coaches. And it boggles the mind. I mean, when I was watching, I thought it was all kids. And so to realize that it's some of the coaching staff from these other places, and it's like, if that's my coach, then some of these kids might not even have the chance, because if your coach doesn't know how to keep their head and act like an adult, especially in the presence of a professional, I mean, I think there's going to be a lot more kids that are negatively affected by this than
positive.
Than positive, yeah. I mean, and it's unfortunate that it had to happen, especially like Chris had said, since Cam is one of these players that's really giving back, and he's trying to be a more positive force. He even has his own platform where a lot of people do watch his content. Mm-hmm. And so to have an incident like this, it's just so unfortunate every time you see it, because it just feels like it's setting us back.
It's embarrassing. To me, it is so embarrassing. Nick, I want to pause right there because I want to continue this conversation, but it's time for us to take just a short commercial break. Family, you are invited to the conversation. So when we come back, we will continue it. But in the meantime, stay with us because we will be right back.
How deep is your love? How deep is your love? February is a month of love, and Word has an exclusive new collection for this month only. Our I Love Word line features a t-shirt, stemless wine glass, hoodie, water bottle, coffee mug, and a tote bag. And guess what? If you're a member, then you can get those brand new items for 50% off in our Word shop. Join or renew to get your discount code via email. Go to wordradio.com/ILoveWord to start shopping now and show your love for your favorite radio station. That's wordradio.com/ILUVWURD.
LIHEAP grants through PGW are available, and 1 in 3 households in Philadelphia are eligible to receive up to a $1,000 grant to pay for their natural gas heating bill this winter. PGW has made it easier than ever to see if you're eligible and to apply. Simply text MONEY to 77037, call 215-235-1000, or visit pgworks.com/LIHEAP. PGW, helping ease minds this winter. Tune in to Eco Word Magazine, hosted by POC, the first Friday at 10 a.m. for the PA Lottery Eco Word Fact of the Month. Brought to you by PA Lottery, benefiting older Pennsylvanians every day.
This is Word on Democracy, with highlights from our live broadcast from the White House.
Right here, right now, with Harry Coker. He is the National Cyber Director. How much of a risk are we as a nation for a cyber security attack?
We are at unacceptable risk when it comes to our nation's critical infrastructure. And critical infrastructure is vital to the American way of life. It covers everything from water, energy, transportation, education, healthcare, manufacturing, on and on.
I have the privilege now of speaking with Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. Our unions in many ways are still somewhat discriminatory, even though they are going to be essential to the election bid. How do we leverage the opportunities that we're talking about to make those players respond to your vision?
Yeah, so to be clear, I'm not just talking about moral support. I'm talking about money, and I'm talking about policy. On the money side, it's making clear that there are funds for these kinds of workforce efforts. On the policy side, we changed the policy to make local hire preferences possible. There's a lot we can do with that funding and that policy that just wasn't possible before President Biden got here.
Madam Vice President, it's great to see you. Thank you so much. Good to see you again. What is the administration doing to change outcomes for Black people in the criminal justice system?
One of the things that we have done is on the federal criminal justice system, we have banned chokeholds. We have restricted no-knock warrants, required that there will be a federal database for police misconduct. The number of pattern and practice investigations has increased around police departments that are engaged in a pattern and practice of discriminatory and racial biased policing. And so that has been part of our approach, but there is still more to do.
We are WURD. Your vote matters.
Long nose, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Chris Murray in this hour, our oracle of sports. Yes, he is our guru, if you will. And I see that you've been commenting, family, and I do want to share your comments. So we're going to take a moment to go to our socials. Nick made a comment just before the commercial break, sharing that the altercation took place specifically with Cam Newton. It started with one of the coaches, and then the youth joined and jumped in, which is a whole hot mess. And his point was that if we as adults can't control ourselves, how do we expect our young adults to control themselves? Like, what example are we setting? And our beloved Joanne, she shares the same comment. If grown-ups cannot show restraint, what do we expect from our kids? It's embarrassing to me. It was just totally embarrassing. Harold shares grown non-NFL men. And to the question that Miss Audrey asked you earlier, Chris, she shares yes. She was referring to the Harlem Globetrotters.
Okay.
So we'll get back to that in one moment. And Eric shares, okay, people are hungry. It sounds like such a great, informative, power-packed book. Talking about your book, Chris. We all want your book. Okay. You know that. Malcolm shares he only saw a piece of the video. It was the same for me. I only saw a clip of it.
Okay.
It's just embarrassing.
Yeah, it was. But I found something on a Bleacher Report that this is just from one of the people. There was a quote there that I wanted to read. There's a guy named T.J. Brown who is with some group called what's the name of the group? Some trainers out of Top Shelf Trainers. This is what he told Fox. Someone named Scott Thompson of Fox News TMZ Sports.
Okay.
He says that Cam jumps out of his car and yells, "Hey, all that sorry ass ain't gonna work today. What we betting today? What we betting today?" And the guy TJ Brown says, "I'm like, I ain't betting you, bro. I already beat you 4 times. You got to beat me first." And then he says, "Well, what we betting? I got plenty of money. I ain't never turning out money." And that's what I told him. That's your problem. All you care about is money. You think money is everything. You can't buy me, and I walk off and whatnot. And so and so somehow he's saying that Cam Newton, initiated the trash talk. This is according to the Bleacher Report.
See, and to that point, here we are. You're a grown man. We're adults. It's trash talk. And they're talking about betting. Nonetheless, you can't handle a conversation about trash talk about betting.
Nah, I don't know.
Come on.
And so,
well, maybe okay. Well, let me ask. Let me ask. I'm sorry to have interjected, but let me ask. I'm going to ask all of you men. Um, so with what you just shared, with that conversation that you just shared, or that exchange that you just shared, do you find grounds for a fight, an argument?
you know something, there are no grounds for trash talk. I mean, trash talk is talk, and it speaks to something else because this is what a lot of our young people deal with. A lot of
Okay.
guys these days, I hate to say, and maybe it was like that in my day too. I'm not going to say that because I knew a lot of guys whose egos were fragile enough that if you
Mhm.
said something, they're ready to fight on a drop of a dime. And
Okay.
I don't know, it's just like nowadays when you think about why people are getting shot to death in places like
Mm.
Philly, Baltimore, and DC, cities that I interact with almost every day,
Right.
and it all comes back down to well, he dissed me, he said something, he disrespected me, or he said something, words basically. And at the end of the day, and I'm not saying that over the years, when I was young and, sometimes, yeah, somebody says something, yeah, that's what guys tend to do that. But I'm
Right.
hearing now is that, man, okay, now we all may sell wolf tickets. We may bark,
Ye-
you, and never, but I'm not trying to kill nobody or fight
Right.
nobody.
I mean, we talk trash
And
during football season when we're talking about the Eagles and the Cowboys. We that's banter. It's like,
I
you
mean, we
know,
talk. I mean, we talk trash all the time, and sometimes, I think that sometimes we
mm,
have to, we all. Sometimes you can sometimes you can let things get under your skin. Sometimes
sure.
people let things get under their skin. I'm not saying that there weren't times when I was young where I wanted, a lot of times out in the yard, guys want to prove themselves. Nobody, because someone's egging you on and all that.
Right.
But nobody wanted to kill anybody. You know,
I,
nobody wanted to fight anybody
no.
over some of those things. And a lot of times, people are just, I don't know I don't know why Cam said it, because another person said, Cam, was basically telling somebody, I taught y'all everything, and all this other stuff. But I don't know if it just, and the people who were in this Bleacher Report article are saying that Cam started it. I
Okay.
mean,
Okay.
I don't, and
Yeah.
I
Let
can't
me be
confirm, and
quiet.
I'm not going to say
Yeah.
whether or not that's true or not. It might be, but then
Yeah.
again, it was reported on TMZ, so that's again, but
Yeah. Let me be quiet because again, I only saw a snippet of the video, number one, and the first thing I said was that I don't know how it started. So I don't have any like legitimate information about this what happened, but it is embarrassing to see adults just see anybody fighting, quite honestly. Like, what? Come on, y'all. Come on.
mm,
I mean, I get it. We talk trash, but if you, again, like you said, if your ego is fragile, then don't do it. Don't do it.
right,
Don't do it.
right.
Don't do it. I want to know your opinion about what's going on with Russell Wilson, the
What is
quarterback
going on
situation
with
with the
well, in
Broncos?
Colorado, with the Broncos, he's probably going to get traded somewhere. A lot of people, I mean, I don't think there is any love lost between him and Sean Payton. And at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the season, although he still threw 26 touchdown passes this year,
What?
and I just think that was just the wrong situation. I don't think I don't think Russell Wilson, if I look up his stats and everything, I don't think he's still he could, like I say, I think Pittsburgh could use him. I hope they don't use him and whatnot, but but the thing about it, Russell Wilson, I think, can still play in this league, and I don't know, some of the things that people are saying about him and all that, but I still think he threw 26 touchdown passes and against 8 interceptions.
Well,
and that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. But I know the conversation was they weren't talking so much about, what he can do, and they were talking about the money. They were talking about how much money
Yeah.
they would
Yeah,
lose.
because he has a lot of money. They're gonna have to pay him a lot of money,
Uh-huh.
and basically he's saying he's not, he's not getting up on that money and whatnot. Because and if I'm a player, I'm not giving up that money.
Come on now.
You're late in your career and you're trying to get as much money as you can out of it, and you brought in the wrong coach for Russell Wilson, and I don't think he gets along. I just think that the organization turned on him when he refused to take back some of the money
Sure.
that they gave him, and so you gave him the money,
Mm-hmm.
and if you had and I'm not mad at him, I'm not mad. I'm like, look, man, you earned that money. You're basically, you got a Super Bowl ring. You've been to a couple of Super Bowls. Should have had 2 Super Bowl rings and whatnot. But the thing is, you know what? They paid him money, and he's gonna keep it. Now, if they want to, get rid of him, buy him out, fine. Buy him out, let him go elsewhere. But at the end of the day, and plus now that the salary cap has gone up and everything, I mean, if you want to cut him, but you gotta pay him his money. He's getting guaranteed
got to give him his money. Exactly.
And
So that's why I was asking what your thoughts were.
Don't get mad at the players. I mean, like I say, you're an artist, and I'm an artist, not as good as you. But the thing is, you know how this game works. You want the money. I mean, I'm a freelance writer. I want my money.
Listen, that's any human being. I mean, listen, you provide a service for which you've made an agreement to be paid. You want that agreement to be made good upon you. And so what they're doing now is I'm curious to know which way they'll go. I'm curious to know if they're going to give him if they're going to let him go and pay him his money, because it like you said, that's a large amount of money. I'm hoping for him that they do, because the relationship that what is it, Sean Payton, he and Sean Payton have, that sounds toxic. It sounds so toxic that it doesn't sound good for either one of them.
No,
I would want to get away. I would want to get away from that franchise if I was him. I'd be waiting for them to let me go.
Because like I said, Russell Wilson must have been the one, because if that had been anybody else, him yelling at Russell Wilson, some guys, Russell Wilson is just not that guy, but some guys are like, look, man, you ain't getting in my face like that without retaliation. Okay? May not physically do something to you, but I'm gonna say something. And I'm gonna say something back, because at the end of the day, he shouldn't have no one should talk to anybody like that. And and just like I say, at the end of the day, you have to, like I said, he wants his money. And if I'm him, like I said, Russell's like, all right, you're not gonna let me play, but y'all gonna give me some money.
How about that?
Y'all gonna pay me because you made that agreement. And because if you were dumb enough to give me the money and whatnot, you know what?
Listen, I'm with you. You made the deal, so pay me. Alfred shares that's in any business. Pay one for their services, and he shares that their relationship is toxic. The relationship between Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. He also shares Russell is classy, and he gets his respect with the bag. Going back to the story about Cam Newton, Ozias Johnson is joining the conversation. Hello and thank you. He shares, we haven't heard Cam's explanation yet, so I would say the story is incomplete at this point.
Right.
Nice. Good point. Good point. Yep. I think we're all in agreement with that. Alfred shares, if I were Russell, I think I'd want out of Denver or away from Sean Payton. Same here. Same here. And Malcolm shares, sounds punkish to me. Weak and fragile. Egos can sometimes be deadly. That's just, that's horrible. That is
fear and anger.
Horrible.
It is. Fear and anger are two difficult things that we have to deal with, and sometimes that fear leads to anger, and sometimes when you're in that state of fear, you don't know what, and that's, I think, is the state of people nowadays. And I understand there are times people, we all get really angry at some point, but not to the point to where when I was in high school fighting and stuff like that, it was never my goal to kill my opponent.
I'm sorry, what now? What you were what?
I said when I was in high school and I got into fights and stuff, it was never my goal to kill my opponent. It was my goal was just to knock him out, to beat him. I mean, yeah, I did get into fights.
You were wait a minute. Not you, Chris.
Every now and then, it took me a while to become. It took me to become the polished gentleman that you know.
I love it.
My first 2 years of high school were kind of rough.
Really?
But after a while, I just what I learned is that it got to a point where you can't fight. I mean, I went to Catholic school for a year, and for some reason, the way men sometimes settle things, way the old, a lot of times, a lot of the guys around me, some of the guys around me said, "Come on, man, you ain't gotta get mad. Don't let that guy get under you." But you had other guys around you that said, "Man, come on, Chris." Because sometimes I was like, there was I've gone through a
you were hot-headed? Were you hot-headed?
I had a chip on my shoulder. I was real small. I had a chip on my shoulder.
Not
I had a bit of a chip on my shoulder when I was young. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've never lied about that.
Okay.
And it was just to a point to where you have to fight back and whatnot. But when you go in places like Baltimore, Philly, my thing is I to be honest, I'd rather not fight. That's me. I would rather not fight. But a lot of times, circumstances, and everybody who's listening, every guy will tell you, even a sweetheart, most sweetheart of guys that I've known, you can't let people push you around. And a lot of times, I tell people, I'm not a tough guy. I would never say, "Yeah, I walked, man, I'm from Baltimore, and all that." I was not a tough. I'm like Michael Jackson. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
On that note, family, we are going to take a commercial break. Since we're sitting here talking with his lover here, family, stay with us because we are coming right back.
This February, we're celebrating Black History and Love by focusing on heart health. Have you asked your doctor about a stress test for your heart? Stress tests are diagnostic and can reveal problems that might arise while your heart is pumping harder and faster than it does normally. A stress test, sometimes referred to as an exercise stress test, involves monitoring your heart rhythm, blood pressure, and breathing while walking on a treadmill or riding a stationary bike. Stress tests can be used to diagnose a range of heart issues, allowing a cardiologist to see how blood flows through your heart while you're exercising. And doctors can use these tests to help create a treatment plan for a heart condition you've been diagnosed with. Typically, stress tests are performed in a doctor's office or hospital, completed in an hour, and are non-invasive. Before the test, your doctor will ask some medical and exercise-related questions to determine the appropriate exercise. They will also do a physical exam, take your vital signs, and listen to your heart and lungs. Tell your doctor about any medical conditions, symptoms such as chest pain or difficulty breathing, or any physical limitations caused by joint pain or arthritis. Once you're ready to begin the test, electrodes, aka sticky patches, will be attached to your chest. You will also wear a blood pressure monitor on your arm and a pulse monitor on your finger. In some cases, your doctor may want you to breathe into a tube while you're exercising. You will begin by exercising slowly and working up to a predetermined target heart rate. Once you have spent a certain amount of time exercising, usually about 10 to 15 minutes, the intensity of the exercise will be slowly decreased. After the test, your doctor will continue to monitor your heart rhythm and breathing until both return to normal. Once the test is complete, you should be able to return to normal activities. Visit penmedicine.org for more information and resources about heart health. And happy Black History Month.
Tune into Word Radio this Thursday at 10 a.m. for City Council Live, hosted by Ernest Owens. Join conversations that matter to your community with your local City Council members.
This is Word on Democracy with highlights from our live broadcast from the White House.
Right here, right now, with Harry Coker. He is the National Cyber Director. How much of a risk are we as a nation for a cyber security attack?
We are at unacceptable risk when it comes to our nation's critical infrastructure. And critical infrastructure is vital to the American way of life. It covers everything from water, energy, transportation, education, healthcare, manufacturing, on and on.
I have the privilege now of speaking with Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. Our unions in many ways are still somewhat discriminatory, even though they are going to be essential to the election bid. How do we leverage the opportunities that we're talking about to make those players respond to your vision?
Yeah, so to be clear, I'm not just talking about moral support. I'm talking about money and I'm talking about policy. On the money side, it's making clear that there are funds for these kinds of workforce efforts. On the policy side, we changed the policy to make local hire preferences possible. There's a lot we can do with that funding and that policy that just wasn't possible before President Biden got here.
Madam Vice President, it's great to see you. Thank you so much. Good to see you again. What is the administration doing to change outcomes for Black people in the criminal justice system?
One of the things that we have done is on the federal criminal justice system, we have banned chokeholds. We have restricted no-knock warrants, required that there will be a federal database for police misconduct. The number of pattern and practice investigations has increased around police departments that are engaged in a pattern and practice of discriminatory and racial biased policing. And so that has been part of our approach, but there is still more to do.
We are WURD. Your vote matters.
It's too black, which means it's too strong.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black talk media, WURD.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick and the lover, not the fighter, Chris Murray, right here on WURD. Chris, let me tell you something. You had me over here chuckling. I was over here having a good little chuckle, but our family members were commenting. Jeff shared, back then it was called a fair one.
Yep. That's true.
And Miss Rosalind, our beloved, she shares, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Is no more respect. She shares, where's the sports street or just about the dollar bill? Hilarious. You win some, you lose some. She said, what happened?
That's anybody.
That is. And our beloved Joanne Kemp, she shares, you're supposed to be able to control your impulses as you mature. She's going back to the Cam Newton fight, she shares, but unfortunately, some people need a few more decades or a lesson. They may be sorry to learn. How about that? How about that? I do want to share because I didn't see your message earlier, Cheryl. I'm so sorry. Cheryl shares giving, be it large or small, with a sincere heart is very important in the eyes of God. Do our best and God will do the rest. That is word. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And Miss Lily shares, Brother Chris, I love your description. Polished gentleman. Okay. I love that too. So, okay, let me ask you this, because I was running today and I ran through this restaurant and I saw just a brief, they were discussing an upset with the Pistons. The referee missed a call. He missed a foul. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that, but they miss calls all the time.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But apparently, this caused an upset. There was an upset that was, and I was so mad because I was running. I missed the rest of the story. I said, "Well, it's Tuesday. I'm going to ask Chris because I know he'll know."
Well, like I said, I've been running up and down, but referees miss calls all the time. I still remember years ago, I was watching before the Bullets changed their name to the Wizards. The Bullets were playing a game against the Atlanta Hawks, and the call really was bad. It was so bad that the guy who was doing the play-by-play announcer, this guy named Mel Proctor, just yelled over at the official, "That's a terrible call," as he was going off the bench. I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow. But some of the calls in the NBA are just like, really? Y'all made that call? I mean, that happens. It happens all the time in the NBA.
All the time.
It happens. They miss calls. And sometimes I think it's just interesting, that they miss calls, they cost games. I mean, it's to a point where some of the coaches are complaining about it. Steve Kerr was saying that the refs, there's no allowance for defense because the ref calls fouls just because somebody breathes on somebody. And at the end of the day, you can't. There's a point where you got to weed out bad officials. There was a guy in baseball, and I can't remember I think his name was Gonzalez or something like that, who was one of the worst ball strikes umpires in baseball. It was to a point. This guy was throwing balls. The guy would throw a ball way outside strike, and basically the batters looked at him like, "Man, are you crazy?" I mean,
Chris, wait. No, I'm in agreement with you that something should be done to rectify that. But I am over here laughing because, family, you are commenting and it is hilarious. Chris, you started something. Okay. Malcolm shares, right. I took some and dished some out. So everybody's recalling their boxing days. Eric shares, tell it, Chris. It's not always that easy when you hear it. Oh, so familiar word. A guy can only be pushed so far. And Cheryl, oh, you poor baby. Cheryl shares, I'm a girl and I used to have to fight guys to defend myself. I don't like fighting at all, but my family is from South Philly, SPZ, and we were all taught to box, SPZ. I remember being lied on in the 3rd grade, my first experience of being conspired against, and I had to fight 3 girls at once, but guess what? I did not go down. Cheryl, I'm right there with you. Cheryl, but you started something, okay? Because we're all recalling. We're all
Lord, triggering childhood memories. I apologize for that because, I don't mean to, I can laugh about it now because, over the years you learn to not, you learn to just say, you know what? A lot of stuff that happens in childhood, and you learn that you have to do, restraint and all this other stuff. And, we've all had our bouts with anger management or whatever, because sometimes, everybody pops off at the handle sometimes,
Not Nick. Nick doesn't pop off at the handle.
No, not that's right. Everybody except Nick. Nick is always.
Whoa.
Not
Nick
Nick
is always even keeled.
I was just about to say that. See, we're both in agreement. Nick is always even keeled. Not Nick. But Alfred was sharing your opinion about the referees. He shares egregious bad calls is totally another conversation because there's some agreement there. There is definitely some agreement there. I'm looking at the time, family. I hate it when we have to go, but it is that time. Chris. Okay, so since you've been busy, you've been doing so much this week and traveling, I know you'll have an update for us next week on everything that will take place in the meantime and between time, and we look forward to that. We so look forward to that. But it's that time, Chris. It's that time. Family. Thank you, Chris. Family, praise God. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Thank you, as always, as you continue to support Love and Life. Thank you to our guests, Nina Ball, and to Chris Murray, our oracle, the one and only. Yes. Thank you for sharing your time, energy, attention, spirit, knowledge, and space with us. We love it and appreciate you. Thank you to all of you that contributed to the conversations. Special thanks to the entire WURD family, especially Niall and even Keel Nick, for all that you do. Happy birthday once again to all of our love bugs. Okay, and extra hugs, oodles of love to those of you whose lights are shining dimly. Family, remember that we are all in this together, so be good to you. but be good to those around you. Remember that I love you. Yes, I do. But God loves you so much more. Yes, He does. Have a great rest of your night, family, and join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Have a good night, family.